Welcome to another episode of Charts on Demand brought to you by TradeSnyper. Today we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin, XRP, SPCE, Virgin Galactic, Gold, a couple other cryptos and stocks, Ethereum, AMC, a bunch of good stuff. So let's get into it. First things first, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin. As you can see here, it seems like it's fallen to this little channel here. It looks to be verified once it bounced off this line right here. And as you can see, TradeSnyper, which is the indicator that is flipping colors, determining where these cryptos and stocks are going before they actually get there. So as you can see, a couple things here. Um, the TradeSnyper flipped from green to hyper green right here, and that was on the 22nd. July 22nd. So it's literally been days and days and days of just pumping. So there really hasn't been that much interesting to report on. It's just been a gigantic pump, and most likely, as you can see here, where TradeSniper is starting to bend, most likely this could very well be the top of this rally. There might be another surge that goes up to maybe back to 50 or 55,000, but we shall see. So if we look at some of the lower level time frames, as you can see, TradeSniper is red, and that usually indicates some selling pressure that's about to go down. So that's happening now. Um, and as you can see, it is in the top of this little channel right here. So it's at 45,200 right now. The 4 hours red, and the daily is green, yet to flip. So we're also waiting on that to see what happens once that flips. I'm gonna check some of the higher time frames. The weekly looks like it's gonna go on a gigantic run. As you can see here, it flipped green right around here, July, and it was ranging in the 30K range for a week or so. Great buying opportunity, as you could see. I mean, clearly here, once it flipped green and then it went red and then back to green right here would have been the buying opportunity for this rally. And that just would have been an easy trade. Now, the question is it going to get rejected at this point, and then fall down for some more downside? That's a great question. I want to take a couple looks at other time frames. So as you can see here, the monthly is looking pretty decent. As you can see, the trade sniper here is blue, so that was indicating a sell-off. Usually the order is blue, and then it goes to red, which will increase the selling pressure, and then back to green, which will pump it. But as you can see here, it's blue. We have not yet seen it flip red, considering it's been pumping. So that's something interesting. If we look at, here's a 3 month, not much to look at here. 6 month, I mean, it just doesn't really give us too much information. But as we go to like some of the lower level time frames, we're noticing that every time there's a little pump, it'll flip, and then we'll see like right here, once it flips red, there's a little bit of sell off, another red sell off, but it just continues to pump after the sell off. So seems to be a nice little rally going on for Bitcoin. I would definitely be paying attention to this daily color, because whatever comes after this green here, if this flips to blue, that could indicate the end of the rally, which is indicated right here. And if it flips from blue to red, I would see us falling, and we most likely will be falling back down to the 31, 32K range. I would say that this would probably be the plan for Bitcoin. It'll probably do something like this. I would say falling a little bit more. We're going to make it red, and then it'll probably bounce off this line. And then what will happen is it'll get rejected again, and then go down for some more downside, unless there's some crazy news that has happened. Uh, Maybe a little fake out looking thing here, and then the downside here. So we're just gonna clone this, and yeah, and then I would expect something like this to be happening, and then maybe even lower than that if it breaks out of this channel. So that's what I'll be expecting. We're gonna go ahead and save this and check back very soon. All right, where is the save button? Here we go. All right, now let's go take a look at XRP. First and foremost, a lot of people are asking how they get access to the Trade Sniper. This is an indicator. The only way to get access to it is if I grant you access. The only way to sign up for Trade Sniper Indicator is to go to Patreon. What you want to do is just go to patreon.com, and then over where it says search, type in Trade Sniper, click this and sign up. It's less than the price of a cup of coffee to get the indicator, which is, very, very valuable considering how accurate it is. As you can see, like, some past dumps, like right here when it was 60,000, it did flip blue, and it gave you some time to get out before it dumped hard. So that's awesome. And you could have dumped it right here and reaccumulated and then just got more Bitcoin, and that's the goal. So let's take a look at XRP. So XRP is in this gnarly channel. It looks like a descending triangle, but it might be a breakout. We're just kind of waiting to see. Um, as you can see, with Bitcoin falling and a lot of other things falling today, XRP is up 1%. So I feel like people are just trying to get almost giving up on XRP or giving up on Bitcoin, and they're going to XRP, thinking that that's going to be the answer. And I would probably guess that those people are wrong. So right here on the 4 hour, you can see it did flip red. It tried to break out right here and got rejected, and now it's falling. So if we kind of dissect this a little bit more, yep. So see how right here it went to green and then it flipped to red, and this is going to show some selling pressure. It's red now, so I would assume that there's probably going to be more selling pressure happening very soon. If you see this line right here, this is somewhat of a grind line that needs to be held. And as you can see here, this is the top of that triangle. So right in this area is where we're either going to get a breakout or a breakdown. My guess is we're going to get a breakdown, and that's because Bitcoin is breaking down. So I'm just going to leave this right here, and we're going to see if this is accurate. We'll check back in a few days. But I would assume that, if this doesn't rally and break up out of this triangle here, that it will fall down to the bottom of this right here and fill this area. So we're going to see. We'll definitely check back on that as we look at some of the higher time frames on the weekly. It's the same thing as Bitcoin. The weekly's green. As you can see here, in the past times it has flipped green. There was a pump, but then there was a sell off and it fell back below. But then there was a massive pump. We're going to get another one of those. I'm not sure. I doubt it, but you never know with crypto. So we're just going to hang tight. If we take a look at the monthly again is very similar to Bitcoin. We are blue, and on the TradeSnyper. So the next, really, what's going to happen is if it turns red here, it's going to completely dump, and it's going to dump for a long, long time, months. If it flips hyper green, we could get a pump out of here, um, and go test the all-time highs. But I would honestly just wait to see what's happening. Um, what's going to need to happen is these lines are going to have to cross just like they did here, and then once this line breaks up above it, I would say it could be due for another rally. But the thing that you got to realize is if it doesn't, if it gets rejected, kind of like something like this, it could fall even more. So got to be very, very careful. Let's take a look at some stocks. This is SPCE. This is Virgin Galactic. This one just fell 10% today, and you can see the TradeSnyper would have called this easily if you look at some of the lower time frames. Here's the 3 hour. He could have gotten out right here once it flipped blue. If you go down and zoom in and get to some of the lower ones, right here when this cross, you can see the selling pressure, and then right here you can see where it was blue, and then here as well it flipped blue. Could have gotten out there. If you take a look at the daily's green, but it's bending. So usually, like I say, when I see these bends, it usually will do something along the lines of this here. You notice how it's bending, that's just resistance and it's picking up on it. So as it's hitting resistance, there's a good chance that it could fall and shoot up afterwards. I would assume that this would be probably a decent sell-off since there was a huge major rally since Richard Branson went to space. So let's take a look at gold. This one's pretty interesting. I've been pretty bearish on gold. I've had this sort of shadow of what I was expecting gold to what happened to gold, and this was drawn back in August. Right when I saw the top of it rallying hard, I was like, "There's just no way that's just going to continue," and it indeed did fall. Now I did get tricked here, or I didn't. I thought it was going to fall straight down, but you can see there was a fake rally, almost like a bull trap. What a bull trap is it looks bullish, it looks like it's going to go back up, it gets rejected and falls, and now it's just falling even more. So I've had this drawn out for months. Um, you know, did I say August? Yeah, August of 2020 is what I meant. So this has been drawn out. This is the weekly chart. So this has been drawn out for a long time, and I knew that gold was going to fall, and I am thinking gold will probably fall even more to get down to the 1500s. There's some structures that I wanted to point out on the monthly that I would assume could happen. As you can see here, this is a rally formation. It looks like a descending triangle, but it's flipped, so it's ascending up and shooting to the upside of it. And that was the rally formation back in 2019. It shot all the way up and got rejected here, and then now it's just falling. So, like I said, I'm looking for gold to end up in this range between 1500 and 1300, maybe even lower, depending on the structure of the market. But as you can see here on the monthly trade snipers, bright red, that's very scary for gold, and the weekly I believe was red as well. Yeah, just flip red. And here's another thing too to pay attention to. This was actually hidden. A lot of whales might have even missed this. And if you see here, it does. You can't barely tell that it flipped red. This flipped red last week. This flipped red last week. So all these gold bugs, if they just had TradeSnyper, would have been able to get out last week, and they would have saved themselves some losses. So let's just zoom in. As you can see, sometimes it's right there, but it's what how they say hidden in plain sight. Let's check when it's flipped, and it flipped right here, and that was July. This has been red for a long time. So, like I said, once this flipped red, I would have gotten the hell out. I would have gotten out, and that's exactly what I would have done. And as you can see here, the daily again, it flipped blue right here, and this would have gotten me out in July 15th. This would have gotten me out July 15th. Let's zoom in on this. Let's zoom in and take a closer look. So all the people who are functioning and using TradeSniper, look at this. All right, daily charts. The higher the time frame, the more of an impact the color flip is gonna matter. So you literally could have just waited. Look, you could have just waited once it flipped blue right here. This is the day it flipped blue, and look, it's still going up. So you could have gotten out at 1820, and then here, see as if you pay attention to right here, as it flipped blue, and then you're getting another day of blue, more selling, more blue, and more selling. The end of the rally is in, and then as you slowly see, it got a little bit of a support right here, and it flipped green. It bounced. You could have got it back in right here, okay, and then follow along. Again, we're watching. We're watching. I'm kind of doing like back testing this a little bit, so giving you guys an example of what it will look like before. So as you can see, it gave you a clue right here. It gave you two clues. Here's the blue on the daily, which is the end of the rally, and then it flipped hyper green, which is the beginning of a new rally. And then look, boom, the very next candle, bam, and there you go. There's profit, and then it kept on going. Oh, there's the blue. Look what happens right after, a drop. Okay, so you could have gotten in, gotten right back out, and then as you following along with the trade sniper indicator as it goes down, and then next thing you know, it flips red. Okay, now there's some selling pressure. That's day one of the red. Day two, and then there's a big drop. So these are the things you have to be paying attention to. If you're in these stocks and you're in these cryptos, you want to maximize your value. Could have literally easily sold here, bought back in here when I flipped green. If you're paying attention, sold again, and then got out. I mean, this is easy. And then look. So when I say selling pressure, here's what I mean. Red. Here's one day of selling pressure. Here's another day. Look at this. Look at this. Got absolutely cracked all the way to the bottom. So yeah, just pay attention to that. Trade Sniper owners, pay attention to that. And if you're interested in getting access to the Trade Sniper, again, just go ahead and head over to Patreon, type in Trade Sniper, and sign up. It's literally the price of a cup of coffee, so you can't get hurt, and you go from there. Now I show a lot of selling pressure. Why don't we take a look at stock that shot up? Now this is a 40% rip up here on ORPH. All right, so now a couple things to be paying attention to. Once it flips red, all right, that means the selling pressure. That's when you want to start to be looking to buy it. You don't want to sell it when it's red. You want to get out of it before it flips red. You want to sell it when it's blue. Okay, so right here it flipped red, and there you got a day of selling, but then it flipped green, and it flipped green August 9th. That was yesterday. That was yesterday. Today's the 10th. So this flipped green yesterday, and if people were paying attention to this, could have literally got in right here on the green, and they could have gotten a 40% gain right here. Okay. So that's what you want to be paying attention to. When we see the hyper green, there's a big difference between just the regular green and the hyper green. Hyper green means there's a most likely a huge pump on the way. Most likely there's a massive pump on the way. And especially if you see it on higher time frames, like we did here. So that's another thing you got to just pay attention to. All right. So if you're looking to get in, you want to look for stocks or cryptos that you want to look for the red. Look right here, perfect example. Looking for the red. Here's the red. You want to buy it. Boom, and flip green. You could have gotten in right here, and then you could have dollar cost average. Got in here again. As you can see here, it did flip blue temporarily, and then bam, a huge upswing. And that's what you want to be looking for to load up. So that's basically it. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at Ethereum. A lot of people are talking about ETH and obsessed with Ethereum. Here's what I see with ETH. So as you can see, we're gonna get the TradeSnyper up here. TradeSnyper is blue on the daily, which usually indicates the end of a rally. As you can see right here, this looks very similar to this last run up right here in May. Okay, we were at right around 2400, and then just a massive run up, follow the arrow all the way up, boom, and then the trade sniper flipped blue, end of rally. It did it twice. It flipped blue, and then the red right here, selling pressure. Let's do this again. Let's bring it over to the let's bring it over to the front. This is what Ethereum looked like in back in April, back in May. Boom, there's the red. All right, follow right here. Here's the red. And then boom, selling pressure, and then wham. And that's when the bottom fell out. Now, I did make a prediction that ETH was going to go on this sort of pattern, which it pretty much did. It fell down here, shot up, and then fell down, and then kept on falling. Now, it got to the end of this triangle, which usually this is a descending triangle. Usually, if it breaks this bottom here, it will fall, and that will be a bad sign. This ended up being a rally. So, I'm going to go ahead and change this. So, what I'm going to do is put this like this, something along these lines here. And this is what we're looking at. It's almost like it's like reversed. There we go. So now usually when this happens, you're gonna come back down and see the bottom of this. So I will assume that it's gonna be very similar. I could almost I'm gonna assume that it's gonna be very similar to what happened last time, and we're gonna make this sort of prediction. I would say probably from this candle down, something along these lines here. So what's gonna most likely happen, in my guess, with ETH is we're gonna get another dump after. And since we're sitting on a blue trade sniper, the 4 hour is red. It's already starting to fall as we speak. So yeah, and the weekly. Sorry, I keep jumping around. Weekly still green, but I feel like it's gonna get rejected. Could be wrong, but I'm just going by the indicators. I'm literally not making any opinions except for what my indicators telling me. So as you can see, it's blue. The last time we flipped blue was here. We got a bunch of 9, 10, 12 days of selling pressure. Same thing here and here. So I'm expecting selling pressure based on the indicator, but we shall see. All right. How about one more? We'll do AMC, and then we'll jump into one random one. Now, AMC, I was talking about AMC for a while on my TikTok channel. You can see here, it's in this looking like a descending triangle. We did predict that it was going to fall out of this descending triangle, come up to the top of this tip here, and then drop. And that's exactly what happened. So I'm just going to go ahead and extend this a little bit like that, something like that. And yeah, and that's exactly what happened. So the reason why I have this above here is because this was like this area, yeah, something like this, something like that probably makes sense because we're going to include this. We're going to include this getting rejected, and then the fall, and then the rejection here, and then now it's falling for more downside. I'm expecting AMC to get cracked. I know they say they're accepting Bitcoin and stuff like that, but I don't think that really matters. I don't see that like shooting the stock up. It just doesn't make any sense why it would. Um, So, whoops. So yeah, I'm expecting a fall for AMC. And we're gonna just make that prediction here. There needs to be a bearish engulfing candle, and when I say bearish engulfing candle, so this run up here, usually when there's huge run ups like this, there has to be a candle that comes down and engulfs it, and basically brings it back to the norm. So I would say that the price target for AMC might be in the range of between 25 and 15. So that's where we're going to put our price predictions and our point right around this area, maybe 15 or 17 if this does get cracked. As you can see, the 4 hours blue, which like I said indicates selling pressure. The daily is green, which is great, but this also still has to get through here. So if this gets through and it does shoot upwards, we could definitely see another AMC rally. So I don't want to be completely bearish on everything. This could be a breakout, but we're gonna have to wait and see where it goes and how it reacts. So we're either gonna get a breakout of this or it's gonna break down here. But it's coming to an end very soon. So we're gonna get our answers very soon, and we're gonna see. My guess, for the record, is it's gonna break down. So let's see where that goes. Let's take a little, some looks at some other stocks here. I know people were talking about Tesla. Let's see. Take a look at the Dow. Does anybody care? How about random stocks? Facebook. Where are we with Facebook? Facebook. I don't think I've even looked at Facebook once on this channel. I don't even know what I even have here. Looks like this is just a rally. I'm not sure what this is. So we have it here in a rally formation, and yeah, I mean it's just shot up so high. There needs to be a drop eventually, and that's what I think is going to happen with Facebook as well. We're going to just put this right here, and I think there's going to be a pretty big fall with a lot of these stocks and stuff, just because they're so high. You see the daily's red. It's already starting, so we'll come revisit Facebook again on another day. Not much going on with that. That's pretty much it. I mean, I could take a look at a couple other stocks and stuff like that. Um, just to keep it interesting here. I'm kind of running out of time. Oh, people were talking about Neo. A lot of people talking about Neo. That was a very fan favorite. And as you can see here, we have made this prediction on where it would have gone. We did call it a $37 price point, which exactly hit, which is pretty awesome. Right around here, yeah, 38 range. And it shot up, and then now we're gonna see if it gets rejected by this and then falls back down. So that's where Neo is really in. I'm just gonna clean this up real quick to kind of show you where it's at. It's in this gigantic triangle. So as we saw before, these could be rallies or it could be descending. So we're gonna just kind of move this over since we have a little bit more information. Yeah, maybe something like that ish. And we're gonna leave it right here, and we're gonna revisit it again. We're still calling for Neo to fall, but as you can see, it's green on the daily, which is pretty interesting. Um, and the 4 hour here, the 4 hour is not looking too good. Um, the green on the daily was probably from the pump that just happened, but as you can see here, when we get a closer look, it's blue and it's already starting to fall. So we're predicting more selling pressure. Okay, so that's pretty much it. We'll take one last quick look at Bitcoin before we go. And as you can see here, it's just kind of ranging. It is red and falling a little bit, but it's been pretty hot lately. People have been buying it, so we'll see. But again, I still think it's going to fall. All right, well, that should be about it. We have predictions, and good luck. Stay safe out there. And again, if you're trying to get access to TradeSnyper, head over to patreon.com and then type in TradeSnyper, one word, and I will grant you access for the price of a cup of coffee. Literally the best deal on the planet. And you'll get this indicator right here, the TradeSnyper, which is going to flip colors back and forth, indicating which way the stock or crypto is going next. All right, have a great day, and thank you for tuning in.